Time to wrap up the 2021 catalog and cover the Heike story by Studio Science Saru, adapting the famous period piece into a 13-episode anime. Well, a famous Japanese period piece, as this is my first time experiencing this story. So if you're hoping to learn how good of an actual adaptation this anime is, you're out of luck. But I can tell you whether or not it's worth watching, so let's get to it. The Heike story tells the story of the rise and fall of the Taira clan during the Genpei Wars, which occurred around 1180 AD. Our POV comes from the character of Biwa, a young Biwa player who can see glimpses into the future. This allows the anime to give you an idea of the fate of its characters, if you don't already know, as well as pay homage to the origin of the source material, as it started as epics being told by Biwa playing bards. But she stays with Shigemori Taira, the level-headed and responsible heir to the Taira clan, and the only one keeping his father and Taira clan leader Hiyomori in check, who has ambitions of seizing and keeping control of Japan for the Taira clan. We usually meet his children, who all have talents in the arts, be it dance, poetry, or music. But when Hiyomori hurts himself and dies, Hiyomori of course goes on a rampage, as no one else in the family will challenge him. Thus, Hiyomori makes reckless power grabs that creates political enemies left and right, leading to the entire family being forced into his wicked schemes. Thus starting the classic tragedy of the sins of the father becoming the sins of the son, meaning Hiyomori's choices not just doom himself, but the entire clan. Thus starting the sad journey as each member of the family is tied further and further into this web of schemes and closer to their doomed fate, with Biwa acting as their witness to tell their story and play her part as well. Overall, I think the story is well told, and I enjoy the visual style the series has. I do have a small complaint though. As established, Biwa is able to see the future, but the series also established that Shigemori also has the ability to see spirits, and while it does create some very strong visuals, it didn't really play that much of a role in the series. Like, the only thing it was really used for was to illustrate that Shigemori's daughter, who is pregnant with the next emperor, is in fact being haunted by spirits of the enemies Hiyomori has made, and thus Hiyomori needs to be convinced to forgive past foes to calm the spirits. But I don't know, maybe I should just be glad of the cool visuals it let us have, but I feel there was something missing with its inclusion. But at the end of the day, the series is good, and I feel it's definitely worth watching if you're looking for something more tragic in nature. But we have some time left, so let's shift about 400 years from the Heike story as we cover another historical series. That series being Samurai Warrior, released in 2015, which covers the end of the Sengoku era, but we gotta do Japan's favorite thing and romanticize some Sengoku era generals, as we romanticize the crap out of Yukimura Sanada and his valiant last stand to honor the code of the samurai. But I will admit that Yukimura does at least make sense, as you can focus on the tragedy that was the fallout between Yukimura and his brother Nobuyuki, two brothers who are forced to clash as they follow what they believe is the best for the future of Japan, while also mixing the overtop portrayal of these figures that we also saw in Sengoku Basara, where they're in fact just walking one-man armies. But at least for Samurai Warrior, it's at least more historically accurate than Sengoku Basara. Not that that's a hard bar to clear, like that bar is maybe at best a few inches off the ground, but I do have a few key issues with the series. The most egregious is that Nobuyuki is not getting the same development as Yukimura. He does get some, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it's more saying that he's struggling with the decision of whether to join his brother or to face him than, showing it actually affecting him. Secondly, I don't think Kotaro's inclusion really did anything, but give reason for Yukimura to go back to the plot. Lastly, the mix of being historical and the overtop characters does the series no favors. The anime is using the video game series of the same name as the basis, and that series is basically Dynasty Warriors but with a coat of Sengoku era paint, and that genre is known for being over the top. But by going for the more historical angle, you're losing out on that over the top action that people go to Sengoku Basara for. But those looking for a more historically accurate version may not care for the excesses that are your simplified characters of the Sengoku era generals. So trying to get the best of both worlds leads to your series being kind of average, to be honest. It kind of feels unsure of its identity beyond just romanticizing the crap out of Yukimura Sanada, and that's not really what I was hoping for, as the fallout between the two brothers was the more interesting story to tell, and I feel it didn't get the right amount of focus. So no, I don't think that Samurai Warriors is in fact worth watching.